Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Can't see your picture.
You say?
Can't see you.
Ice what?
I said I can't see you.
Uh-uh. Yeah, me, I'm seeing you now.
It's only a topic. I can see you now.
Can you see me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. It's
Mm.
like my hand pressed something.
Okay, no problem. So tell me you said you haven't been trading lately. Hmm? Now, here's the thing. Uh, I understand that the way probably Mr. Tanko must have introduced this thing to you in the first instance is kind of a lot. It comes with a lot of promises, like this thing you will make a lot of millions out of it in a short time. You understand? Yes, that one is
Yes.
true. You will make those millions in the short time, but I don't like overhyping something. You understand? It's good to
Yes.
let people also know of the risk that is involved in what they are doing. You understand? Casino is gambling. Forget
Yes.
whatever I'm teaching you. It doesn't dispute the fact that casino is gambling. You understand?
Yes.
These games are programmed for the purpose of them making money as a business avenue for them. But for you, let it just be an entertaining something for you. It's just to entertain you while they make money from you. That's what the system is all about. So all I'm trying to teach you, all I'm trying to train you to do is to minimize the risk in the system and to make consistent profits from the system, which is very possible. You understand? If there is one person that has done it, if there is
Yes.
one person that is doing it, you can do it too. You understand? Now,
Yes.
you have come to understand how the system works. You have seen, at least to an extent, how it's working. You have seen that there is no magic involved. Simply because
Hmm.
I recovered your account, what people want to just do is just teach me how you are doing that. You just put in, even if it's 500,000 naira that is in the person's account, you just put in all the 500,000 naira at once. Then the next minute now, someone will see close to 1 million naira in their account. That's what people are just after. Teach me that, teach me that. But I can actually teach you that without you knowing the basics of what the consequences of you doing that and how for you to determine that accurately. You understand? Now, if you want to make a lot of millions from it, there is nothing limiting you from making these millions from the system.
Yes.
If you want to make these millions out of it, remember, it's money we are talking of. If you have access to money, it has automatically transformed your life. If you have access to money, if you have access to the kind of money you are looking for, it has given you the kind of confidence and future you are looking for. You understand? Which means
Yes.
there are a lot of people and factors that don't want you to get this your desired future. So it's a matter of you fighting for your future. Is it not worth it that you want millions out of something? Is it not worth it that you also spend time in getting to know how that thing works? Sometimes we shouldn't be just concerned about how much we are to make from the system, but how well we can understand the system. Because the better understanding you can have on something, the better you can easily take advantage of that system. That's the simple truth, and that's how it works. There is no magic to it. You understand? Now,
Mm.
let's take for instance now. Uh, you you don't even know the basics yet, and I have given you instructions. I've studied this thing. I've been on this program for about 13 years now. Imagine for 13 years, just last year, I got this right. Meaning, just imagine how many times I must have failed before last year. I kept failing and failing and improving and failing and improving and failing till I got it right. Now that I have gotten it right, I now give you instruction. Do this thing this way because I have discovered not just about the failing or the success I have gained through it, but how many I have discovered a lot of ways that I can actually do this wrong. I have discovered along the line that even if me myself, if I go in contrary if I give this instruction to do this thing, then even me myself, I don't do it that way. I will get a negative result. There are no two ways to it. You understand? So
Yes.
now I have given you instructions. Me that has been on the system and knows how the system operates, I've given you instructions that please do this thing this way. You that I'm giving the instruction, you are not even taking it and following it that way. How do you expect to get your expected results? It will be impossible. You understand? There is no magic to it.
Yeah.
It's just about you knowing how it works.
Yes.
It's just about you knowing how it works. So the other day, someone was asking me that what gives me the confidence to put in someone's whole money at once into in a single trade. Like if I own the person's account, even if it's 500,000 like this, 300,000 like this, what is giving me that confidence that I'm putting in all that money at once to the system? What makes me think that outcome will occur? I said it's just about experience and how far I have come to understand the system. This question you are asking me is more like this. Just assume that your phone got off and you want to reach out to your wife. If you know your wife's number offhand and you use someone's phone to dial that number, what gives you that confidence that it's not someone else number it will divert to over the millions of people that is using number, that if you make one single mistake along the 11 digits, it will divert to someone else's phone? What's giving you that confidence that in all the 11 numbers you dial is correct? That's because you know that you are very confident while dialing that number that is your wife that will pick the call because that's a number. And over the time you have been calling it, you have been dialing it before you get it right. You understand? So you are very confident of it. I said that's how confident I am because I've
Mm.
been on the system. Imagine me spending from morning till evening on the system. The following day, I do same thing again. I do that for day 1, day 2, day 3, for 7 days. Then I do that for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 1 month. I do that again for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. If it will just get to a point whereby you just look at the system. When certain results occur, you just know that yes, this is what is going to happen next. You understand? You already can determine that from this thing, this is what's going to happen next. So is it not worth it
Yes,
that
sir.
you put in the time? Somewhere you said you want to make a lot of millions from. Is it not worth it that you put in the time also to invest in the thing and get to understand how the thing works? Then when you are making the millions out of it, you'll be able to interpret to someone else that yes, this is how this thing works. You just want to take instruction, then you want to rely on that instruction for the rest of your life, and same time you want that instruction to be effective for years for you to make millions of naira out of the system. These people are not
Mm.
foolish. The other day, Madam Salim was telling me, just tell me exactly what is going to come out. How she's going to determine exactly what is going to come out in the market. I said, don't be deceived. Not even your prophets or an herbalist would do that. He will fail woefully. This is computer program. No, not even the programmer can tell you exactly the outcome that is going to come. You understand? So you just have to know the facts right. You just have to get the facts right. If you want to succeed in this thing, yes, I have already given you the instructions, the guide on what you need to know. So it's now for you to follow the instructions and discover the pattern at which is suitable at every point in time, because the change you see is not stationary. The change you see doesn't follow one pattern. The change changes. There are days whereby you will notice that the whole day set is just zigzag and random trend that is forming. Then there are other days you will now be seeing series of parallel trends forming. From one parallel trend divert to another parallel trend forming. You understand? So you can only
Mm.
tell when you are in the market. So let's take for instance, I'm giving you a strategy to trade on. Me myself, that is not trading according to that strategy. However, I have looked at the movement of the market at the time and given you that strategy. So it's now left for you to give me feedback so that I can improve on that strategy, since you are the one trading with the strategy. While trading on the
Yes.
strategy, if you observe something, you are the one to tell me, see, look, oh, this time around, my trading power was reduced to this kind number before I hit a win. Oh. What should I do? Am I safe?
Mm.
Then at that point, I will not tell you what to do. Look at something I used to do as of that early 2013, while I was still trying to get the calculations right. The first game I played was visual. While I was playing visual, I noticed I wasn't getting it right. So I moved to 49 When I moved to 49 at that 2013, the first market I played on the 49 was the mid market, which is the trend breaker in the high and low session. So while playing on the trend breaker, I made the calculation to 50 times. Now, in that 50 times, what I did is this. I used to observe the market. Whenever the market want to change shape, if the last outcome that I used up my trading power is to 20 times, then the recent one is now 35 times. What I will do is I will now look at the gap between the 20 times and the 35 times. Let's assume it's 15 times now. I will now increase my calculation from the 50 time to plus 15 time again, making it 65 times. If this time around I now use up my trading power to probably around 50 something time now, let's say it's entered for me at 55 times now, at the 55th one. Now, on that particular one, I will now look the recent one before that one. Probably it must have entered on the 40 something or on the 48th one. So between that 48th one to the 45th one, what's the difference? That's another 15 again. I will now have to increase my calculation by 15 times again. You understand? Keeping you safe in the market while I'm constantly observing the movement of the trend. You understand? So let's assume
Yes.
I just confined myself to that 50 times, that it will not go above the 50 times because this is what the instructor told me. What if it's at that point whereby the movement, the trend now moves to in a negative parallel chain for up to 55 times before it entered? I must have blown my account.
Yes, of course.
Yes, I would have blown my account. That's how it is. So there is no magic to this thing. There is no two ways to it. You already know that The only two things that is going to keep you safe in the market, the three things that are going to keep you safe in the market is this. One, the calculation. Your calculation has to be right. Two, a capital to back up your calculation. And a substitute, the third one is a substitute for the capital, because not everyone will have the capital. The substitute, what I mean by the substitute for the third one is this: how you apply the calculation into the game. Let's take, for instance, at the time, as of 2013, I came up with the two-odd calculation, and I calculated it to 16 times, which I believe will be very safe for me at the time. So on that 16 time, I discovered that the total amount that is required for me to go into the market is about 3.5 million naira. Where would I get 3.5 million naira at that time? So what I did was I made I took the calculation from between 1 to 8. Between 1 to 8 is that required me 12,750 naira. So at the point where it required me 12,750 naira, this is what I did. I skipped in the market. I constantly skipped. See, when a negative parallel trend has occurred in that particular market I'm looking for about 9 times or 8 times, I will now have to enter the market. Now, if I enter the market on that 9th one, you know that the more the trend is going, the weaker it's becoming. You understand?
Yes.
The longer it takes for an event to occur, the higher the chances of that event to occur. You understand? So,
Yes.
when at the point of the 9th one, what I always do is this: when I enter the market, I now start with 15 naira. Now, someone that have that 3.5 million naira capital that has been starting from number 1, at that point now, the person will be using 8,000 naira because it has not entered for him. Now, at the point of number 10 now, I will be using 100 naira. That person will be using around 160,000. Then at the point of number
Yes.
11 now, I'll be using 200 naira. That person will be using around 320,000. You
Yes.
using 320,000, I've been using 200 naira. Which person will be beaten?
The person using 320.
Exactly, because at that point, accumulatively is going to be around 400 or 500,000 naira. You understand?
Yes.
So your heart will be beating. Meanwhile, me, I'm confident that, okay, it's just small amount I've used. Normally, it's going to enter, and the more my chances of entering is getting closer. So if that one, at that point now, that person will pray in God, if this trade enters for me now, I will pause for some time first. In fact, I will even close my system. I will not trade again for today. You will be praying. But if it enters, the funny truth is that that person that has traded with that so much trade power to that amount with me is making exactly the same amount of profits. Can you imagine? So
Yes,
it's
it's
your
true.
approach towards the system. You understand that matters. Now, another thing again, at that point in time now, if it doesn't enter and it went to probably the 12th one now or the 13th one, you that is using small amount of capital, you still won't feel the impact much. That person now
Yes.
will be sweating because he knows how much is going inside. Because once that 320 does not enter, the next one will require the 640. So
Yes.
if he doesn't go, you know how much is there. So the person head will be swollen and the person will be sweating. That's how it works. Now, this thing, the only advantage someone with higher capital is having over you is this: the person is bound to make consistent profit, like more consistent profit than you, because all the while whereby you are waiting for an entry point, the person will not have to be waiting for an entry point. However, what you should note is that the safety of your account is always your priority. You understand? The safety of the capital you are putting in there is your priority before any other thing, before the profits you are making. So if you are making if you are making profit gradually and that person is making profit in a more faster sense, it's still okay. So long as your capital is safe and it is eventually increasing, you should be satisfied at first because the more you trade, the more you are building your capital. You understand? It's that simple.
That's true. Yeah.
So the next one now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you since it's 49 Jai you said you want to trade on now. I'm going to show you what some things to take note of in the 49 jar and what to trade on. That's what I'm going to show you now. Okay. So
Oh,
just give me like 5 minutes.
all right.
All right.